I didn't want to just do a Q&A. I wanted to do a video with more substance, I guess. And so I posted on my Instagram stories, which if you don't follow me, I am just soft ASMR on Instagram, very easy to remember. But I posted and I said, what girl talk questions do you have for me? Let's do another video. I think I actually said, what like big sister questions do you have for me? Either one. But yeah, I thought it was time. So there are a lot of them. As per usual, you guys know the drill. There are like so many of them. I know we're not gonna get through them all, but you never know. A lot of them could be repeats, so we'll see how many we get through, as per usual. Alright, so let's just jump into it. We're really gonna jump right into it. Okay, I'm kind of going from like the first sent to the latest. This one says, tell us tips your therapist has told you to make life easier. Okay. I haven't looked through these, by the way, so I'm going to be thinking of these answers on the fly. Okay, things that my therapist has told me. Well, one of the biggest things we talked about was my ability to rebuild trust with people in general, and also specifically in relationships, romantic relationships. And I remember there was one day, it was when I started dating again, I was like, well, so-and-so, I said her name, how do I know that this person is telling me the truth? You know, I've been told, I'll never hurt you, I'll never whatever, and none of it was true. So I was like, well, how do I know that when this new person says this, they're not lying to me? And she was like, you don't know. You don't. And you're going to make your life miserable constantly thinking, was that a lie? Are they being phony? She's like, you're gonna ruin it for yourself. You have to let people do what they're gonna do. And if they choose to, in this example, break your trust or whatever, you need to let them, because you're going to find out eventually, and it's going to show you what kind of person that person really is. So we've been talking a lot about my need for like control in certain situations, and she's kind of just working with me to be like, you just have to let it be. You have to let things happen the way that they're gonna happen, and that's it, and you deal with it. But you're gonna stress yourself out, and you're gonna ruin everything for yourself if your mind is constantly on overdrive and you're thinking the worst. And then similarly, we talk about my need to like plan everything, and she's like, you don't have to plan everything. It's okay to let things just happen the way that they happen. So that's a lot of what our discussions are. So those are just a few examples. Let's see. I like this girl. This is more of a big sister question, not so much of a girl talk, but it says, I like this girl, but she has a boyfriend. How should I go about this? Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna be respectful of this relationship. I know it's hard, I know it sucks, and I know you like this person, but you have to be respectful, because what if it was your relationship? I'm a big believer in put yourself in someone else's shoes, right? So say you are the one dating this girl, and another guy's coming along and he's like, I really like her, but she's dating so-and-so, dating you. You know, what should I do? You would be like, what do you mean? That's my girlfriend. So you have to be respectful. You never know. Everything happens, I believe, the way it's supposed to and the way it's meant to. So you don't know, this relationship may not last. And once, you know, time has passed and healing has happened, maybe you'll have your shot. But also, don't put yourself on hold. Don't wait for this person, because that's not fair to you. So you have to just kind of let it go, let it be. And who knows what the future holds, but be respectful of their relationship. Easier said than done, but that's, in my opinion, the best thing to do. You can like wait on the sidelines a little bit, but don't put your life on hold completely. I also don't know how old you are, but yeah. Okay. big sister question, but I'm gonna answer it because it's sweet. What do I admire most? Okay, what I admire most about my dad is his work ethic. He is a really, really, really hard worker, and he does it really without complaining. And my mom, I admire how good she is with people. I think, like, she can talk to anybody, and it just, I don't know, like, people, she loves people, and people come easy to her. So there are many other things I'm sure I admire about the two of them, but those are the first one that come to mind. What is the best way to comfort a friend going through heartbreak? Just be there. That's it. You don't have to offer earth-shattering advice. Just be there. Let them know you're thinking of them. Let them know that you love them. Check on them. Not every day. You don't want to be up their butt, but a couple times a week, check in on them. You see something funny that you think they'll find funny, send it to them. Just let them know that you're thinking about them, because one of the biggest emotions you feel after a breakup is loneliness. There is a void missing. It's different for every person, but in my experience anyway. So just to know that there are people in your corner, that they may not be with you physically, but they're thinking about you, goes a long way. And also, if you can physically be there for them. I know, like 2 days after my breakup, it was a Friday night, I had no plans, and I really didn't want to be, like, alone at home by myself. And I didn't even have to say anything. My best friend came and stayed with me. I got out of work at 11 o'clock at night. She was here by like 11:15, and she just stayed with me. She slept over, and I cannot tell you like what that did for me. So my biggest advice to you would be to just be there. Let's see, I'm almost 20 and never been in a relationship. Any advice or tips? Well, first of all, I want to say that there's nothing wrong with that at all. 20 is you're almost 20, so you're not even 20 yet. You're so young. It's okay. And like, look, not to like be this person, but look at most of the people that were in like relationships in high school. Are any of them really still together? Some of them are. Some of them even get married. I know a few of them, but most are not even together. So you're not missing out on a lot. You're really just growing as your own individual person, because that's easier to do when you're single. And you have so much time ahead of you, and even now, who you are now is not going to be who you are 5 years from now. You have so much growing to do, and when you're more secure in who you are as a person, you are a better partner in a relationship. So I think you are on the right track. Just be open, meet new people. If somebody clicks and you're like, oh, I'm interested to like get to know this person more, go for it. Why not? But don't ever think that there's something wrong with that. Your frontal lobe in your brain is not fully developed. Are you Mackenzie? It's a very pretty picture. So your frontal lobe isn't even fully formed yet. I think that happens when you're 25, right? And boys, men, that happens way later. It's supposed to be 25, but it's not. It's not. Trust me, it's not. So you're probably saving yourself a lot of headaches. So just be open, but continue growing into the person that you're going to be, and the right person will come along. Don't even worry about it. Also, the sun keeps coming in and out, and the lighting keeps changing, so I'm sorry about that. This one says, how long do you wait until you fart in front of a guy? I am 27 years old. I have never done it. Ever. I just can't do it. I've had guys do it in front of me. I just have never done it. I don't know. I can't bring myself to do it. But that's a personal preference. I know every couple's different. I have never done it. I don't know. So I don't have an answer for you. But I feel like if I was like married, probably wouldn't care because like at that point he's like stuck with me, you know. Okay, let's see. I'm living with my parents at 22 years old to pay off loans. I have my dream job, but I feel behind my peers and coworkers. How did you manage that feeling? Yeah, so I mean, many of you might know, I lived at home until was it 25, 24, 25. I was 25. I never even went away to school. So I always lived with my mother my whole life until I was 25. And yeah, it's easy to feel like, oh, so-and-so has their own place and they're moving on and they're doing this and whatever. But let me tell you, I did the same thing. I stayed home until I paid off my loans. There is nothing better than moving out with no debt. I mean, I have a mortgage, but that's my only debt. I paid off my car, I paid off school before I ever left my parents' house. And I cannot tell you how many people have told me, oh man, Sam, I wish I did that. So, just be confident that I think, personal opinion, I think you're doing the right thing. There's no right or wrong, actually. That's not the right word. You're doing a smart thing. That's what it is. You're doing a smart thing, and don't ever feel bad for it, and your time will come. But you're doing what's best for you. Everybody's timeline is different in life when it comes to jobs, marriage, moving out, buying a home. Like, everyone's timeline is different. So don't ever feel like you're behind. You're just on your timeline. And that's okay. It's really good, actually. So, let's see. Freshman year college advice. Talk to everyone. This is something I wish I did, because I was still pretty shy when I was a college freshman. Now I love talking to people, but when I was a college freshman, I didn't talk. I had like 2 friends, 3, for like most of my freshman year. Get involved, go to clubs, go to organizations, just meet people, and it's easier to do when everybody is new than when you're a junior or senior and everybody already has their groups of friends and things that they're involved in, and then you have to try to like incorporate yourself in there and like immerse yourself in there when everyone's already kind of settled. Not to say that you can't still get involved in new things in your junior and senior year, absolutely you can, but it's easier when everyone is just getting to know each other on campus and meet each other, and everybody's looking for friends, right? So it's just easier. So that would be my advice. Just get involved with things that you like and that you're passionate about, because then you'll meet like-minded people and just talk to everybody. That would be my advice. Let's see. I want to start learning more about my faith, about God and the Bible. Where do I start? That's a really good question. So for me it was a little different because I was so young when I started going to church, and I went with my mom, so like I had guidance. But as like an adult, I actually, when I bought my physical Bible like a month ago and I started reading it, I saw a TikTok. It was like perfect timing, and it was like, new to the Bible and don't know where to start, here's where you could start. And so I told you guys already, I read the book of Proverbs. I read a proverb every day. There's 31 chapters of Proverbs, so I read a chapter a day. So that'll take up a month of your time. Proverb is all about wisdom. If you want to talk about like how to learn how to like live a godly life, read Romans. I think right now Romans is my favorite book in the Bible. If you want to just start from the beginning, just read Genesis. Read it like a book, like a storybook. It talks about the beginning of time. Ecclesiastes is all about what truly matters in life. And I would also recommend reading the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. They all kind of say the same story for the most part, but from like different perspectives, essentially. And that's all about the story of Jesus and what he did on earth. So those are just a few starting points. And also, like, if you want, just be straight up before you like open the Bible and just talk to God. It doesn't even have to be, it's not like, I'm not into like formal prayers. Just like talk to God like you're talking to a friend. Be like, God, I want to read this book, but I don't really know where to start, so can you like guide me a little bit? You know, but I hope I gave you a few ideas of like places to start. So yeah. Okay, thoughts on getting back together with an ex. Also, I turned my lamp on so I didn't look so like washed out. So sorry for that little change, but thoughts on getting back together with an ex. So, okay, it depends, right? There are breakups and things that happen in relationships where those two people should never get together again. And then there are instances where the two people needed to grow separately to become better people, to then come together and have a better relationship. So it's hard to say. I would say I know for a fact that I would never date any of my exes again. But it's different for everybody, right? So I don't want to talk about it generally. I would never say never for some people, not for me, but for some people. It depends on your relationship, and just make sure that you are not settling for less than you deserve. It's so easy to go back to something just because it's familiar, but that doesn't mean that it's good for you. Look at me preaching. Sorry. Can you tell I've been through therapy? Yeah, so just make sure you're not settling, but I would never say never, right? It could be a good thing. How do you know when you're ready to be in a relationship again after being comfortable alone? It's a good question. I do think of that sometimes, where now I'm very used to doing my own thing. I can do what I want when I want. Not that you can't do that in a relationship, but you know what I mean? When you're in a relationship, you have to take into account somebody else's schedule as well as your own. And like check in and be like, hey, I might do this with the girls. Do we have anything planned that day? Like, you know, you have to take another person into consideration. And now I can just do whatever I want when I want, and I can, you know, it just is a lot of freedom there, right? But it's very easy to get comfortable there, and I don't want to allow myself to get too comfortable. Because, like, for example, a couple guys that like I've spoken to and dated briefly on the apps and stuff, there will be nights where they'll be texting me and I'm like, I just want to go home and watch a show and drink my cup of tea. I don't want to talk to anybody. But then that's kind of bad, because at some point I'm gonna have to. Not I'm gonna have to, but like I will want to eventually. I'm still figuring that out. I don't know if I really have a question or an answer to that question. I think just when I believe that I'll meet somebody who, and you will meet somebody who will make your life better than it is when you're living your best single life. Does that make sense? Like I always say now, I'm like comfortable with being alone and like being single, right? And I've created a very nice little life for myself. And it's gonna take somebody who can make my life even better than that to want to be in a relationship with them. Does that make sense? I hope that made sense. It made sense in my brain. So I hope that helped. Let's see. Do you ever wish you had a big sister? I'm the eldest of 4, and sometimes I wish I had a big sister. Yeah, more than anything, I always wished I had a big brother. Don't ask me why. I just, like, I don't know. I like the thought of, like, a big brother protecting the younger siblings. I don't know. I've always thought that ever since I was a kid. But yeah, I feel like it would be cool to have an older sibling, more so because I was the guinea pig. Well, I was my mom's only. And with my dad, like, he'd been through it once. So I'm sure he had, like, mental notes in his mind of, like, oh, I would do that again, I wouldn't do that again, kind of thing. But I think I still turned out alright. keep friends while being Christian and busy with your own life? I'm gonna be honest, I don't, and I hope I don't mean to sound mean, I don't fully understand that question of like that sounds like being a Christian makes it hard to maintain friendships, which I would not agree with. I think it's important to have friends that are like-minded. So like I love my group of friends. I have like my college friends, my home friends, a couple church friends of like in the church that I grew up with or grew up in, and I wouldn't trade them for the world. Do most of them have similar like Christian mindsets like I have, where like they like to read the Bible every morning and stuff? No. And that's okay. That's why I have joined like a new church to meet more like-minded people. So this church has a lot of younger people my age, 20s and 30s, whereas my church that I grew up in didn't have that. So I wanted to join to meet more like-minded friends my age that I can sit and pray with, or they'll pray with me, or we can read the Bible if we want, or even just go to church together, you know. So please hear me when I say that's not to replace my friends, it's just in addition to. I hope that kind of answered the question. And there was a second part, and being busy with your own life. I mean, everybody's busy, and the older you get, the more you're gonna have to learn how to like just book things in advance with your friends, because everybody has a life. We're all adults, and life gets really busy. But I always say you make time for the people and the things that matter to you. So, let's see. Red flags that you notice now that you went through dating and the breakup phase. I will say one thing I definitely learned is that certain red flags that you noticed in the very beginning, maybe before you even started dating, or not even red flags, just things that were in the back of your mind, things that maybe worried you a little bit or whatever, oftentimes those things become the reason that it didn't work out. Just my opinion. Red flags that I noticed now that you went through dating. Alright, well, I've done a whole video on red flags, but like 30-year-old men asking me for their Snapchat when they follow a lot of random women on Instagram. Like I am the type where if a guy asks me for my Instagram, I'll give it, because I'm like, yeah, show me your Instagram. Let me look through who you follow. And if it's all just like women in bikinis, women, you know, I'm not saying they're a bad person. I'm just saying I'm going to proceed with a lot of caution. Similarly, when personal preference, don't come for me. When a man is overly friendly with women, now, I think everyone should be friendly with everybody. I'm not saying that I want to date a man who's mean to every other woman except for me, because that would be a red flag. No. But there is a thing as being overly friendly. You can't convince me otherwise. That's a big one. What else? There's so many, and of course I'm not gonna be able to think of them right now. That's the only ones I can think of right now. Probably like the things that have to do with gaslighting. Like if you tell them you feel a certain way, and they're like, oh, but you shouldn't feel that way. And it's like, oh, well, I do. Like, I do feel that way. So, you know, don't like that. That's a big one. I really just look for like emotional intelligence and emotional availability. Those are good things. Also, I apologize. I think there's like a UPS delivery truck that just parked outside, but I have to keep going because I have to leave for work soon. So hopefully it's not too bad. There are a lot of questions on like how to get over a breakup. I see a lot of those in here, and I've talked about this a couple times. But briefly, I will say, like, a Cliff Notes version. Yes, distract yourself. Surround yourself with friends and family, especially in the beginning, like the first couple weeks. Like, I know I couldn't be alone for the first couple weeks, or else, like, I would not do well. So go out, distract yourself, whatever. But and also go no contact. You broke up. They're an ex now. They're in the past. There's no reason to have any sort of communication at all. It makes it so much easier if you're still, like, checking in on them and you're like, oh, but I just have one more question. No, just leave them. They're in the past for a reason now. Keep them there. 3, do all those things, distract yourself, whatever, but at a certain point, you are going to have to feel that pain. You're going to have to sit by yourself, and you're gonna really have to think about it. You're gonna have to let it settle in. You're really gonna have to feel that hurt, because if it doesn't come out, you're not gonna fully get over it. You really have to let it go, and sometimes that also means physically. If you want to break stuff, like, go to a rage room and just, I didn't do that, but, like, in hindsight, that would have been kind of cool. Like, if you want to break stuff. If you need to scream, cry. You have to let yourself feel those emotions. You have to. It's healthy. Don't think because you're sitting at home by yourself crying that you're a loser and that you're doing it wrong. You're actually doing it right. There's a big difference between, I'm gonna start preaching. There's a big difference between people who face the hurt head on, do the things, do the therapy, let the emotions out, journal if you have to, whatever, and you face the healing head on. There's a big difference between that, someone who heals first, than someone who is newly single, goes out every night, gets drunk, parties, does all the things, because that's not healing. And they're gonna have to deal with the repercussions of that later. I'm rambling. That would be my advice to you. Okay, let's see. How do you know, similar topic, how do you know when a relationship is over and it's time for you to move on? Yeah, that's a hard one. At first, it starts subconsciously, where you feel in your body that relationship isn't fulfilling you anymore. When you feel sad, upset, anxious more than you feel happy, that's a sign. When you feel like you have to cover up the person that you're dating, their actions, when talking about them to others, that's a sign, because you don't want other people to look at them badly, because you know that what's happening is bad. That was a big one for me. That's a sign that it's over, or needs to be over. Now, I didn't actually, in my personal experience in my last relationship, I didn't realize that it needed to be over until it was already over. Looking back now, I can see so many instances where I was like, oh, Sam, you weren't happy. You weren't happy. So, it starts subconsciously. Again, when you feel that you're sad more than you are happy, or you feel like you're not being respected anymore, or just the other things that I mentioned, those are ways that it's gonna start to show up in your brain. Yeah, I hope that helped. I say that after I give every answer. I hope that helped. Thoughts on having kids? Does it make you nervous? No. I want kids. I want 2 or 3. It makes me really excited, actually. The only thing that makes me nervous is the fact that once the baby's in there, it has to come out somehow, and it's not going to be painless. My best friend is actually pregnant right now. Her and her husband are expecting a baby, and I'm so excited. Baby will be here in February, and I'm so excited that she's going through it first, so that when my time comes, I can ask all the questions, and I can just watch. I can watch her first. But yeah, it doesn't make me nervous. I mean, it is a really big responsibility. You're literally creating and molding and shaping a human, and you have to make them good members of society. It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of responsibility. But no, it makes me so excited. That's what we were created to do, in my opinion. So it makes me very excited. A lot of these are repeats. Is it a red flag if you were seeing someone who is only friends with females? I'm assuming you're dating a man, right? Or you would be dating a man. Talking about a man only having female friends. I wouldn't like it. I want to be careful with what I say. I don't want to say it's a red flag. But like, yeah, a little bit. I wouldn't like that. I couldn't do it. And there are reasons for that, but I couldn't do it personally. Let's see. As a Christian woman, this is an interesting one. As a Christian woman, are you okay with letting your husband lead? So, this is a hot topic in the world, and in the world of Christianity. A lot of people have a problem with it because the Bible says that wives are to submit to their husbands, and everybody goes crazy. I think personally that our world has created such a different, almost vulgar definition to the word submission, and I don't think that it means it the way people think it does. Like, you guys know me. Do you think I could have a husband that would be like, jump and I say how high? Like, no. However, I think it's different. When the Bible says this, it really means, at least I think, and I've heard many people who I consider like spiritual mentors say that it's more about knowing that your husband can lead and provide for your family. So it's not about him just barking orders at you. It's not about, especially about, men that may use that to take advantage of their wife in an abusive situation. That's horrible, obviously. It means more of just like, I trust you to be like the head of this family and be the protector and be the provider. Doesn't mean that I'm not going to provide as well, but you're going to lead us and protect us. That's how I take it. So in that sense, yes, I'm very okay with that. It's actually very attractive to me when a man just like handles the things and just does the things without having to be asked, without having to be prompted. He just like does the things because he knows that's what he's supposed to do. It's very attractive to me. So yes, I'm okay with that. I'm gonna do a couple more. How to make friends as an adult is hard. I'm currently in a season of that right now where I'm trying to make new friends. I would say go to a place and do a thing that you are passionate about and that you love. For example, me, I love going to church. I love learning more about God and my faith and whatever. And I want to meet, like I said before, meet people who are like-minded and who want to also do those things. If you love taking workout classes, go take a workout class and go like be a regular there, and you'll meet other regulars there and you'll have things in common because you guys both like to do that. So I guess just do things that, like I said, that you're passionate about, and then you'll meet people like you. And I would say just like walk around with a smile on your face, talk to everyone, be nice to everyone, and you'll just attract people. I think that's what I'm trying anyway. Is a 7-year age gap too big? I'm assuming you mean in dating. It depends. If you're full-grown adults, then I don't think so. But if you're like 23 and 17, I would say yes. That wasn't right math. 23 and 16. Then I would say that's very inappropriate. So I think it depends on the stage of life. And also too, I would say, like, when it comes to age, again, when we're both legal consenting adults, not when you're a teenager, but when you're older, it's like I don't like to chalk it up to age, because at a certain point age really does become a number, and you more have to look at the person's personality, their goals, just how they carry themselves. It becomes about them as a person and less about the number. Because let me tell you, I've met some 32-year-old men that are like, yeah, I want kids one day, but I don't really know what I'm looking for right now. It's like, well, what do you mean? So, at a certain point, it becomes less about the number and more about the person. But it depends on the situation. Let's do 2 more. Tips on how to be safe when using dating apps. That's actually like a good video topic, but I'll just say it here. First date, they don't need to pick you up. They don't need to meet you at your house. They don't need to know where you live. 2, send at least 2 or 3 people your location, or like share it with them if you have an iPhone, or send them a screenshot of the restaurant, bar, wherever you're going. Send them a screenshot of the address, and send them a picture of the person that you're meeting. Cover all your bases. I like tell my friends I'm going on dates, or like I tell my mom when I go on dates. Not so much because I'm like, Mom, I'm going on a date, more for safety reasons. My mom always has my location. My best friends have my location. So little things like that. Even the second date, I didn't let a guy pick me up for a date until the 3rd date, and by then I like felt comfortable. So those are just a few things. And just be smart. Don't drink a lot to the point where you cannot control yourself. Like, if say you're going out for drinks, to the point where you may like forget things. Don't drink that much. Not in the beginning. Just have fun. Don't be like a skeptic, but also like be on your toes, just be smart. And let's do one more. There's a couple fitness ones. I'm gonna make a video about that separately tonight, actually. If a guy doesn't want to date you, that's a good one. If a guy doesn't want to date you but treats you exactly like a girlfriend, what does that mean? It means you need to run. Run away. Because that means that that guy is most likely, I'm not speaking definitely, but most likely he wants to keep his options open, but he likes the idea of having someone. He likes the idea of having someone. He likes to have someone to talk to, maybe somebody to sleep with, depending on what you're doing. Somebody to go out to eat with, whatever. He has somebody to go do those things. Oh, but he's not your boyfriend, so if he wants to go date somebody else, that's okay. Be smart. Here's what you do. When a guy says, oh, I'm not really looking for a relationship right now, or I'm not looking to put a label on it, all you have to say is, oh, well, I am. So thank you for letting me know that you're not gonna work for me. Then watch, he's either gonna be like, oh, okay, like, I'm gonna rethink this, or he's gonna prove himself and he's gonna be like, alright, bye, and then that's not somebody you want. Anyway, so that was good. I feel like I just dropped some knowledge. Okay, I hope this video was helpful. I think I answered most of the questions, which is good. But I hope that you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all. I'm always here for you guys. My DMs are always open. I try my best to get through every DM I get. But sometimes it's a lot, I'm not gonna lie. But I'm always here. I actually really like doing videos like this. I feel like especially this year, you guys know I've been on a journey, and I have just learned so much that I feel like my brain is just exploding with knowledge, and I just want to like help people who are going through things that I went through. That's why I have started my podcast on my second channel, where I like talk about dating and growing as a person and all the things. I just want to like share all this knowledge. So I love doing videos like this. So maybe I'll do them a little more frequently. I don't know. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. It's time for me to go to work. I hope you have a great rest of your evening or whatever time of day you're watching this.